In this video, we're going to talk about Spawn Universe Shaken. A new era of evil has arrived. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 363. Brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in Spawn, Nyx's plan for her attack on Heaven are fully revealed. So we carry on where the last issue left off. Al Simmons thought he had seen his wife Wanda for the last time. He hoped, for his own sanity, that he wouldn't be reminded of the loss of the woman he once shared a life with. He's learned to bury her memory in his mind, bringing those memories to the surface only in private, where he could better deal with the deep trauma of her death, the way most grieving spouses deal with loss, their loved one. But his story is far from private, having been whispered in the shadows by friends and foes and allies for years. So some have tried to use this tragedy to their advantage, and even though Wanda is in his arms and Al Simmons is like, Wanda, I didn't know it was you. Is it really you? And Wanda's like, yes, it is, man. I'm sorry I had to hurt you. I'm sorry I hurt you like that. So of course they have their consoling moments and they kind of reconcile the differences right now. So Wanda tells her, look, they stole my soul and put it in this armor, then everything went to black. And Al Simmons is like, okay, who and why? And all Wanda can say is, I'm sure for the same reason as always, because I know you. And they use that. So Al can only ask, and who are they? And Wanda's like, I really don't know, but I'll tell you what I do after we leave. This darkness is poisoning me. I need to get to the light. So Spawn instinctively takes his wife's hand, then wraps them both in his cloak. And he tells her to hold on tight. So they return to the same spot they left from, with Tremor, the Curse of Spawn, and Bulletproof, who looks like Green Deadpool from the previous issue, as they patiently awaited their return. So Wanda gets back and she's like, okay, my babies, where are they? And there's those little nasty ass clown minions that just hug her, and in this warp scenario, it's the clown's minions. So she's embracing them, and story just continues on. So as she enters a now present energy void, she reaches out to Al, her eyes beckoning him to join her. But he pauses. He's hesitant. Of course he is. He's Al Simmons. He's always hesitant. There's always something that's the fine print evil corner there, you know? So though it is a futile effort as he violently is sucked into the vortex, then spit on the other side, it's filled with blinding lights. Spawn don't like the lights, but Wanda does. And she's like, you hesitated, my love. Why? This is war. And they go at it. And she's like, you're gonna be damned if you hesitate again, and I will not let you do that. My children, eat him. And those minions, those clown nasty asses, go in there, start demolishing and devouring Spawn. Like, I could just see him doing that, you know? So like a pool of piranhas, they gnaw and Spawn's flesh. But with one goal in mind, to distract him long enough for Wanda to do this, to impale him with the blade in his chest. So in the bowels of hell, Nyx is like, it's perfect, but we still need Simmons to ignite it. And her servants are like, but you could do it too, my queen. And Nyx is like, yeah, but it will take too long. And Heaven would take advantage if I did do it while I recovered. Simmons is a true Hellspawn, is who I need to do this. He was always going to be the one to do it until he got killed. And that is a reference to Spawn issue number 359. But he's going to serve his purpose. Is it ready? And prepare it now. Whatever this thing is, he's gonna unleash some damage, alright? So she curses herself that she let Simmons force an acceleration of her plan. It was not supposed to kickstart this way. But whenever plans get rushed, hell on earth happens. Well, you know, shit happens, you know? We don't like rushing things like that. And the intent was Hell's Queen would bring Al Simmons back to Hell, return his powers, then order him to fully animate this monstrosity to use for her attack on Heaven. But instead, he died by the hands of blood, dramatically altering the timetable she had set. Her only choice was to resurrect Al Simmons and return his and every other interdimensional agent their powers, the same ones she stripped from them previously in Spawn issue 350. So now Nyx is like, let the other gods in the universe learn that Heaven will merely be at the first of my many conquests. She's ready to go. She's looking for that smoke. So now in the US Pentagon, they're talking about all the disturbances across the globe that are happening, and they need to gather their troops quickly. So they have to combine with all this recent confirmations of real life vampire activities and readings that overlap this current situation. It appears that whatever is happening, it's not slowing down. In fact, it seems to have increased since the last week's Green Flash incident, and that is a reference to Spawn issue 360. And that was the exact issue where Nyx brought Spawn to life, and when she did that, she closed up the dead zones and everyone else got their powers back too. So back to the fight with Mandarin Spawn, or Wanda and Spawn. So Wanda's like, you say you want to save humanity? How? My sword won't kill you, but you'll be delayed while you regenerate. What happens if that delay comes when your enemies are attacking? How does that protect humanity as her face starts disintegrating into its true form? You failed your test. You let emotions drive your actions. It's why you can never lead us, but you can still join us. Your choice. And the Mandarin Spawn attempts to dislodge his weapon, but he can't. And Spawn's like, you're gonna get your sword back when I say so, punk. So tendrils of Spawn symbiote begin to snake out, like the mythical sword Excalibur buried deep into a stone. This weapon won't budge. And worse, Mandarin Spawn is unable to release it from his grip. So Spawn tells him, you're about to be swallowed, Mandarin. And these minions just look in awe like, oh no, we're gonna rock with Spawn right now. You know? So the symbiote's tar black film encases its prey, while its crimson wings unfold to blot out the sun. For light in large doses weaken Spawn. And Spawn tells Mandarin Spawn, you're the one who failed. You thought you'd won? That your tricks worked? But my wife is gone. I said goodbye to her a long time ago, then made sure she's always going to be safe. You didn't do that, did you? You failed to know your opponent. You failed to play me as your enemy. You took your weapon, separated from your soldiers, and I played you from the start. Mistakes like that are what kill us. This is yours, says Spawn. Throws him back like that. Here's your sword. I told you you're gonna get it back when I said you were gonna get it back. So when the time comes, says Spawn, I will join you, but you will never be my leader. Wait, says Mandarin Spawn. I have failed my duties and dishonored my ancestors. Allow me, I beg of you, to redeem them by pledging my honor and my sword to your will, my lord. My life is to serve you and your cause. And Spawn's like, look man, my cause is the same as yours, alright? So we cool like that. We all want to rid the world of this evil. But let this lesson be a reminder. A reminder because your powers are too valuable for those to use without purpose. It's time we went back. And they go back like that. And they go back to Tremor, the Cursor Spawn, and Bulletproof. So they tell everyone on your toes, they're back. And Mandarin Spawn's like, look, we're all brothers here. And when the time comes, Spawn will be our leader. So Spawn's like, yeah, when you were in the void, did any of you see Clown? And Mandarin Spawn's like, no, we haven't seen or heard anything from him like that. I guess so, says Spawn, but for now, I'm gonna take his pets with me then. They might become useful when it's time to track him down. But before any of you leave to recruit others, you should know about God's inner circle and how they've built his army by spreading nothing but lies. Lies you'll need to counter. So they are all cloaked in Spawn's cape and they just disappear like that. So Spawn's like, I'm looking for all the patterns right now, but by the time any military leader clues into this, it'll be too late. And she's absolutely sure about that. So there's no way all these patterns and flashes are all man-made. So she tells Redeemer to find anyone that he can trust right now and then report back to her. So meanwhile at the Pentagon, generals and they're all having this meeting right now saying NASA photos indicate the largest disturbance in the Pacific Ocean, 1,000 miles southwest of Hawaii, with high radiation levels that are continuing to build. Well, what do they report? Well, they haven't lost contact, and what they're reporting right now appears to be a massive wind of whirlpools right now. Air support from the battleship was dispatched, but they lost contact with that air support because something is emerging from the waters. And it's that creature from earlier that Nyx created. So at this moment, it's a complete mystery as to what we should do and what we should be getting prepared for. But we as the readers know that there should be getting prepared for all hell on loose about to be unleashed as Spawn universe is shaking and a new era of evil has arrived. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. And also link in description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Until the next upload.